Did you have a relationship with your dad?
Yeah.
Did you feel he got nicer or meaner as he got older?
Oh man, you want to delve into the father stuff?
No, not on the podcast. I'm asking you because I was telling Virginia that I feel that it's not fair that she's interacting with my dad now because he's so much nicer than when he was
you
when
feel
I was
cheated.
Fuck yeah! I'm not cheating. As soon as he got his grandchild from my brother,
Yeah.
he's been dulces and arcoiris, and I go, where the fuck is this guy? Calling me to tell me that thank you for a $4 caulking gun versus yet calling to tell me why the fuck did I overspend and like that he's taking it back and then he's gonna go buy a dollar one.
So you feel cheated because he's being so much nicer to Virginia and more than he ever was to you when you were younger.
Yes, and my niece.
No, I mean, it's just because you get older, you get more braille, weaker, everything, even your mind, you know what I mean? Even though you might think, yeah, you're getting older, smarter.
Like más domadito, because I feel like it's más domadito by life. Like that life breaks you, and now you're like that burrito mancito that they use for the Grand Canyon.
So it's like it makes no sense to be me anymore now because you got people that are younger, stronger, bigger, faster. You can't impose your will on them.
I always thought that I was seeing a pattern in old people getting meaner because they gave less fucks.
Maybe like some of them.
Yeah, because my grandma gives way less fucks than she did back in the day.
Yeah, big time. But like my dad was. Let me do the intro, then we'll talk.
Yes.
Yeah. So you go 12 to 9, 5, 3, and then go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Choppin' It Up with Barber Serg. Hey, everybody, I'm Choppin' It Up with Barber Serg. I'm your host, Barber Serg. Today we got my boy back here, Herson, with a G.
With an H.
With an H. Jesus, an G or an H?
It's an H
or a G?
Don't let Juan mess with you. It's an H.
it's a silent G, but an H right next to it. It's fucking Italian. That's what we got. Italian beer today. We got some beer already. And what I fucked up on is that I do not have a opener. There you go. I always mess up and I always forget that. I check everything down, and that's the one thing I
always worry that always having one makes me look like an alcoholic.
No,
but
it makes
then
me
I worry about not having one in situations like this.
But remember, like back in the days, you had to have a Swiss Army knife, but you can't bring them into bars or anything like that anymore.
So it's annoying. You have to leave them behind
in
the
car. One of those and a fucking knife. The only thing is now you have two of them, so you're definitely an alcoholic.
I don't know. I'd love to say that it's because I think one of them's gonna break, but that's not true. I think it's just this one used to have some kind of embleming on it. And
it looks nice. It looks nice. But the other one looks like it could fucking just open up a can of whoop.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just sturdy and gigantic.
I'll stop making noise on the table. But thank you for inviting me.
Hey, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
I never had this. You said this was your favorite beer?
Mm-hmm. So my wife and I went on our honeymoon.
Ooh.
Or not honeymoon, our 1 year anniversary to Europe. And she took me all over, different places in Italy. Mm-hmm. But in Rome, when she would go buy, per shopping and all that stuff that's available, you can just walk into a bar or an ice cream shop, order birra Moretti, and just start walking around drinking in public.
Get a cone and a beer.
Yeah, this is the beer.
Don't forget about this. Just put the beer in the cone.
Because here, everybody drinks Peroni and they think, that's the Italian beer.
Yeah.
But this is the one they drink. You know how it is. In different countries, everybody thinks people drink a ton of Heineken in Holland, and they do drink some Heineken.
Right here people think that in Mexico everybody drinks Corona, and nobody drinks that
shit. Does drink. You know who does drink Coronas? I would say maybe TJ, maybe border towns.
Well, that's because it's a lot of Americans
back and forth.
Exactly.
But deep Mexico, no way. You're not really gonna order Corona.
Right now, you're
gonna get Pacificos. You're gonna get Tecate.
Depends, like go to Jalisco, everybody's drinking Estrella. Every state has their own beer now. You know what I mean? You know what they don't drink? And they drink piss. So
yeah, they do drink piss, and they eat shit. I love my wife and her, but outside of that.
Yeah. No, so I was saying, my dad, dude, he, what's up, everybody? My dad, he didn't really know how to communicate. My dad was a fucking very, very smart individual. He He came from DF. He was born in Oaxaca. Went to DF with the rest of his brothers, and then went to Sinaloa when he was I think 13, 14. So
Okay.
my mom tells me. But he didn't know how to do read or write or anything like that. So he learned to read, write. He took penmanship classes. He has the best handwriting I've ever seen. Had. And time went on. He was really, really smart. But one thing is, emotionally, he didn't know how to connect with his kids. You know what I mean? How to,
Right.
because he grew up without, a family, father, and all stuff. And he used to beat us. So you know what I mean. With us, like I said, I always tell people, my dad learned how to beat his kids from my oldest brother. I have 4 brothers, so we're 5 in total. But he perfected the art when it came down to me already.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He didn't really, you know what I mean? Things that he fought the belt or the chancla didn't last or he didn't have a good grip on, somebody. But when it got all the way up to me and my second youngest brother, that art was he was kung fu master of chingadazos.
So what I've always thought is there are 2 schools of beating your children, particularly I would say the Latino schools of beating your children. The reactionary and the correctional.
Okay.
I think the reactionary is normal, it's natural, it's typically the one your mom used.
Yeah.
It's typically the one where she just had the one thing that just pushed her over the edge, and it was chanclazos for everyone or for the one that really pissed her off. But unfortunately, I feel the psychologically scarring one is the correctional one, where they thought that an X number of of a repetition of pain was going to teach you not to drop things and break glass, teach you not to stay out extra, teach you
not get dirty.
Yeah, and the problem is that as we've seen with animals like dogs and things like that, it doesn't work to per se convince anyone why something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like one thing is staying out extra, like fuck authority, and another thing is you were a klutz, you did something wrong. All of a sudden, you start creating something negative inside you that says, "I'm an idiot, I'm horrible," and that pain. Those with us, unfortunately, it wasn't just about with my dad. It was my dad fixed televisions. So he had a lot of no worse than the antenna.
The whole TV.
No, he never threw a whole TV because they had value, so he wouldn't want to mess up the TV. But no, we had a lot of power cords at home and at the shop.
Man.
So power cords, if you've ever been hit with a power cord, you're as close to how slaves were whipped. Because that hurts. There's metal inside those.
Yeah.
They don't wear out and they really, really hurt. So that I feel that cold, calculated, I'm gonna hit you so you learn, and they're not even really mad. It's just a glaze on their face. It creates a very negative relationship with that individual. For some, it's their mom, but for most that I know, it's their dad who did the correctional hitting.
It's also the human psyche too, because all my brothers reacted very, very differently to my dad's beatings. So for me, it was one of those, I did something wrong. He's gonna whoop my ass, and I'm gonna pay attention next time so I don't fuck it up. Next time I get mad. My other brothers, like my second youngest, Gonzalo, he took it to heart. He felt betrayed by my dad. He never really got along with them. Towards the end, it's one of those when my dad passed away, and I don't think he was able to apologize to my dad completely for being an asshole.
Right.
And then the 2 ones.
Forgive you that.
Yeah. And then the 2 ones after that, they were kind of like, my dad was my dad. I'm gonna move on with my life. I would do better without him. So we kind of like separated from my dad. Never really talked to him. Then there was the oldest, who kind of understood my dad a little bit, but he inherited.
He grew up with your dad more.
Yeah. He inherited my dad's characteristics 100%. He was my dad, and I go, you can't have 2 negative. It's you're negative. He's positive. No, sometimes the fucking doesn't. Especially in life emotionally, 2 negatives do not equal positive. So there were a guy that couldn't.
2 negatives are the most 2 of the same force are the most repellent forces.
Yeah. It's 2 magnets. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're not gonna connect. You know what I mean? You neither one could forgive nor forget.
Those people are mixing yin yang with physics.
Yeah.
The physics of it, we're talking about actual polarities. You can't put 2 positive or 2 negative things together.
Yeah.
Right. Without force.
But if if you put them in a bowl, they're gonna be around each other. You know what I mean? They're always gonna be around each other. And so that's how my dad and my brother were my oldest. They would walk next to each other. My oldest brother took care of my dad when he was at an older age, as well as myself. And but they were he could never talk to my dad, and my dad could never, at a certain point, he was like, I just don't want to listen.
They're teasing you.
Well, they're teasing me because I can't.
No.
I used to get my dad. Look, let me see. My dad is the Mexican Chuck Norris. No, my dad's the Mexican Chuck Norris, dude. My dad taught Chuck Norris how to kick ass. Well, that's how fucking who wrote that one?
No, but all the WWE stuff.
Yeah, dude. So like I said, you know what I mean. Everybody has a different experience with their fathers. You know what I mean. Like I said, you said your dad was mean to you and beat you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
My dad did too. And then when my oldest brother had his kids, he became the nicest, oldest, grandparent in the world. You know.
That's what I was getting at. Like my dad didn't actually hit us that much, thankfully. My dad was of the verbal abuse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I only remember 3 major times that he beat us really, like, scarring-wise. Like, literally scarring-wise,
yeah.
Yes. And then outside of that, the main correction person was my mom.
Uh-huh.
But my mom never said a disparaging word. I mean, to this day, my mom, in my mind, is like an angel.
Yeah.
But my dad, he was the one that made us feel like shit. He would tell us, like, if we dropped the ball, I almost wish he would have thrown something at us. I almost wish
because
he hit us physically.
The words, he's a mentalist.
Exactly. So, and he's a smart man, and he knows how to manipulate people. He was in sales all his life.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's easy with kids, What I mean?
Exactly. He knows your weak spots.
He knows how to push your buttons.
Exactly.
Anybody out there's parents manipulated them, fucking turned them into zombies? Who was that? Eduardo, saludos, compa. Saludos, Eduardo. Fucking who's that?
I don't know, the last one.
I
I'm sure that's a very compelling video. Us trying to read a small
It says
screen.
like my dad. Yeah, exactly. Small print. I can't get the other way around, and it's hard to do it on the
that's
camera.
cool.
You know what I forgot too? I have a microphone that connects to that, so you can hear it even better. So even if you're talking in a slow voice,
Awesome.
Yeah, and I forgot to put it down. So we'll make this a segment. We'll stop in a little bit, and then you know what I mean. Then we'll get back to it. I'm sweating like a fucking madman already, dude. I'm back in the
But it's good, huh?
It's good. It's really good, dude. On a scale of what was it? The buy for the pad, pay $3 at a bar, and $8 at a club. I think I'd pay $8 at a club.
I would.
Yeah,
I would.
Not bad. 16 ouncer.
Well, it's one of those things. If it's this or Dos Equis, I'm gonna get this. As in, everything's $8, and you know what Birra Moretti is.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It tastes sort of like Amstel Light a little bit.
I was about to tell you. So what I think this is a very light Newcastle. Like it's got the nut flavors and the sweet caramels.
Yeah. Because I was thinking of Heineken Light. Yeah, but that's
no.
Newcastle. Yeah, Nukes are exactly.
It's a very light Newcastle.
Nuke has a nice little punch. You know what I mean?
Yes. So this is a light version of that. Something you could drink 6 of yourself.
Yeah.
I can't drink 6 Newcastles anymore. I could when I was like 21, 22. That was my drink of choice.
In a week.
That was my drink of choice back in the day. Newcastles. I thought I had stumbled on something so clever. I'm like, they're delicious. They're kind of almost sweet, and they're strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I only have to buy a couple. Oh, this is so great.
But then the fourth one, you're ordering
but
shots of something else.
it catches up to you so bad, especially the next day. They leave so much of that. Like
I don't think I ever had a hangover with Newcastle.
No, well, I never had a hangover. I did not have a hangover until I was 32.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
I
didn't know what they were.
For me, off and on, I have hangovers. Sometimes I'll drink like 4 mixed drinks and I'll get a fucking hangover the next day. Sometimes I have 8 drinks and I'll wake up like, let's do this. It just depends on what you're drinking
and what velocity.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, big time. You drink too fast,
velocity.
It's gonna.
So it's like one of those equations: velocity plus amounts mass equals how fucked up you're gonna feel the next day.
Oh yeah, and how fast you're gonna feel it too. Because sometimes you get fucked up and you can't really sleep that well. You wake up in 3 hours,
that's true.
4 hours, like fuck. Dude.
If you fill your stomach with lots of beer, and it was heavy beer, or at least some of it was heavy beer, you're probably gonna have a hard time falling asleep.
Oh yeah, big time.
If you drank a bunch of liquor over a long period of time, but it was a ton of liquor, you're gonna probably fall asleep like a baby.
Yeah. The thing is, how drunk are you at that point? Because you can drink, like I said, you can drink a shit ton of these real quick. If you're not, it takes some time for alcohol to hit your body. You know what I mean? If let's say you drink a 6-pack within fucking 10 minutes. You know what I mean? In 30 minutes, you're gonna feel more bloated. You're not gonna fucking fall asleep at all whatsoever. You're gonna have to your body's gonna have to, feel the effects of it after a while until you just knock out.
One of the positives and negatives of being so big is that my body processes out beer very quickly.
Does that mean you fucking sit down and pee all the time?
No, the problem is that if I'm not drinking very strong beer and I'm pacing it out very far, I'm never gonna get a buzz. It's like I'm chasing the buzz, but I basically have to have 2-3 beers in a row, or they have to be strong. Like the other day we had Guinness. To me, that's very strong.
Yeah,
and I
got fucked up on that one.
Yeah, I had a feeling when I left here, you were like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah.
He's fucking buzzing it. But yeah.
So for now we're gonna take this topic. If you guys ever got beat, or which if you're over 30, you must have gotten hit, right? If you're under 30,
I would say if you're over 30 and you were not beat, you probably have some issues that are related to connectivity to your parents.
Okay, yeah,
there is a possibility you weren't,
yeah,
especially if you were born here and one of them was born here or both of them were born here. There's a good chance that, but then you have Chicano parents who knows?
Thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But let us know what you think about beat. Let me know what you guys think about beating your kids nowadays. If it's something that you should be done lightly, verbally, physically. You know what I mean? Give us a comment or something like that, man. I'm pretty sure somebody's.
My wife is saying that they still beat her.
Oh, do both? Oh, they still beat her.
Her mom. I love my suegra. I love my suegra. But when Virginia says something, or they're going back and forth with their sisters, her mom still does that. Like she has that twitch towards her foot, like kind of like. Better calm down.
Like she's got that gun in the holster, like what? I'll pull it out. You know what I mean? She does spins around a couple times. Oh shit!